Good day, ma'am. I am Micheline Bang from BSed English 2A. So today I will discuss the history of children's literature, it focusing in the Middle Ages, which is Beowulf, Robin Hood, King Arthur, and the Knights of the Round Table. So, first is the Beowulf. So, Beowulf is a heroic poem considered the highest achievement of Old English literature and the earliest European vernacular epic. It deals with the events of the early 6th century CE and is believed to have been composed between 700 and 750. It tells the story of the Scandinavian hero Beowulf, who gains fame as a young man by vanquishing the monster Grendel and Grendel's mother. Later, as an aging king, he kills a dragon but dies soon after, honored and lamented. Next is Robin Hood. So Robin Hood is a legendary heroic outlaw originally depicted in English folklore and subsequently featured in literature and film. According to the legend, he was a highly skilled archer and swordsman. In some version of the legend, he is depicted as being of noble birth, and in modern retellings, he is sometimes depicted as having fought in the Crusades before returning to England to find his lands taken by the sheriff. In the oldest known versions, he is instead a member of a yeoman class, traditionally depicted dressed in Lincoln green. He is said to have robbed from the rich and given to the poor. Last is King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table is a retelling of Arthurian legends, specifically Thomas Malory's Le Morte Arthur by Roger Lancelyn Green. It was intended for a child audience. It was first published by Puffin Books in 1953 and has since been reprinted many times. In 2008, it was reissued in the Puffin Classic series with an introduction by David Almond, the award-winning author of Clay, Skellig, and Keats' Wilderness, and the Fire Eaters, and the originally illustrations by Lot Rainier. Arthur, who is son of King Arthur Pendragon but was raised by another family, takes his rightful place as king when, as a boy, he is able to pull the sword called Excalibur from the stone. Although he rules wisely and is concealed by Merlin the magician, Arthur makes enemies and other kings and is often at war. So next is I will describe the following: ABC books, Horn books, and Chaps books. So first, an alphabet book. So in English language is a picture book that shows the sequence of the letters A to Z. Generally, they are concise, rarely exceeding 60 pages, and have a consistent organizational pattern. They almost always go from A to Z. Next is horn books. So horn books, often taking the shape of primers for learning the alphabet, were made of ivory, wood, leather, and sometimes metal. Developed before the advent of movable type printing in circa 1450 to 1455, horn books were used to teach children letters, numbers, arithmetic, poetry, and Bible verses. Many feature class sheet of mica to permit teachers and parents to change lessons which were written and printed on vellum, parchment, and paper. The paddles often featured handles and perforations that could be attached to a child's girdle. The prevalence of horn books coincides with the rise in literacy and the movements to educate children in Europe and the United States. Next is chapbook. So chapbook was a type of printed sheet literature produced cheaply. Chapbooks were commonly small paper-covered booklets, usually printed on a single sheet folded into books of 8, 12, 16, and 24 pages. They were often illustrated with crude woodcuts which sometimes bore no relation to the text, much like today's stock photos, and were often read aloud to an audience. When illustrations were included in chapbooks, they were considered popular prints. Lastly, discuss the Renaissance periods by pointing out the most important events that led to the development of children's literature. So, children's literature is important because it enhances development of language skills and other critical thinking skills that provide the foundation of learnings. Children read for fun and in the process, development better reading skills and abilities to enjoy more reading.